Hi, everybody, I'm Missi Matthews. Welcome to Training Camp Wrap-Up presented by UPMC Health Plan, and welcome to St. Vincent College. The Steelers just wrapping up their Tuesday practice and down on the field. Joining us here today, wide receiver Diontae Johnson. Diontae, you guys finished once again with the 2-minute drill, and things are a little spirited, I would say. Take me through what practice was like and just getting a lot of the first teamers back.
It was pretty good, just to get everybody going. All the ones competing with each other. It just shows that we out there competing, having fun, and everybody want to win. So we out there showing our emotions, and not in a bad way, but a good way. Just showing everybody that we trying to compete, and everybody competing towards one goal.
I feel like for you guys, it feels like you're itching to get into a real game because it's been Steelers versus Steelers for so long.
Right. Yeah, we've been practicing against each other for like the past 4 weeks. So everybody's itching to play against a different team, or just a different skill guy. Just from seeing our own teammates every day. So like you said, we itching, getting ready for this week and the season as well.
It was good to see you out there yesterday and today. How was the hip flexor feeling?
Oh, it's amazing. It's back healthy. I'm back running around, feeling like myself. Making plays like the usual, and I'm just going to keep continuing to show that.
We like to hear that. George Pickens and Minkah Fitzpatrick, that seems to be one of Coach Tomlin's favorite matchups. What are you seeing from those two guys and what they're getting to do at practice working against each other?
Well, I seen a lot today in the one-on-ones, them two competing. Minkah covering George, just showing that he can play outside as well, really cover anybody anywhere on the field. And GP just showing the freaker nature that he is already, and just making plays continuously. And I feel like those two going to continue to build off of what they've been showing at practice, and it's going to carry over into the season.
Lastly for you, Diontae, do you feel like the offense is starting to gel and maybe take that next step as we do get closer, like you said, to the regular season?
Yes, definitely. Obviously it's going to take time, one day at a time, actually. And I feel like everybody, as we on the field together, slowly, we all growing that confidence in one another, and believing that everybody's going to be in the right spot, and the quarterback's going to put the ball and make the right reads, and make sure the receivers on the outside, we make sure we're doing our job as well, is getting open and making those guys look good down the field.
All right, Diontae, thanks for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I am joined now by Mike Prisuta up here on set. That was wide receiver Diontae Johnson, and you heard him talking, Triv, once again about ending with the 2-minute drill and just the spirit that we heard from the offense and defense split up on separate sidelines.
Oh, that was incredible. It was loud out there, and all the players who weren't participating in the drill, they were getting closer and closer. They started on the sideline, and then everybody's inching their way out, and finally there was a kind of a semicircle around where the ball was being scrimmaged, and everybody just yelling back and forth. That would have been a sack. That was out of bounds. He juggled it. Everybody trying to influence the officiating, but fun stuff. And 2 more stops for the defense. That's 4 in a row over the last 2 days. For those of you scoring at home, as I am here, it's 6 of 10 stops in 2-minute action for the D throughout training camp.
Since we're talking about the 2-minute drills, what did you take away from today's sessions? Both times we got to see Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph lead their respective units.
Yeah, bend but not break defense, and the offense able to kind of take what was there in a lot of situations, but running out of time the first time and then unable to get a pass completion on 4 successive shots. Mason Rudolph running the second of those 2 drills, Missi. He was 5 for 10. For 41 yards, but the last 4 passes he tried Cody White, Tyler Vaughns, Sternberger, and then Blake Christian, and those all fell incomplete. Kenny Pickett running the show with the first team, 3 of 6 for 38 yards. His big play was a 27-yarder down the sideline to rookie George Pickens, but I think you and I were both wondering, had that been a tackling drill,
what would have happened to him?
Had Minkah Fitzpatrick not turned the lights out on George Pickens on that sideline ball. So better stuff for the defense the last 2 days in 2 minutes, although the offense got hot in 7 shots today, 5 straight conversions, touchdowns, whatever you want to call them. Offense wins 7 shots, defense wins 2 minutes. Who gets the wagoo?
I don't know. I was
Or
going to say,
Wagyu.
as they were lining up to do 7 shots, Coach Tomlin let both units know Wagyu and crab legs are on the menu for tonight, just to maybe entice them a little bit more. And speaking of George Pickens and Minkah Fitzpatrick, we heard what Diontae said and what you have seen all of camp. I interviewed Mink on the sidelines during that first preseason game. I asked him if George Pickens was a good trash talker, and he said he talks a lot of trash, but he's not very good. But you could see that relationship. Iron sharpens iron, as Coach Tomlin likes to say.
Yeah, it was interesting. You know, they did some one-on-one work today after 7 shots, and Minkah Fitzpatrick got to line up across from George Pickens, and Pickens gave him a double move and left him in the dust, and a perfect throw from Mitch Trubisky into the corner of the end zone. Then it was Diontae Johnson's turn to try his luck against Minkah Fitzpatrick. And he ran a fake post and then came back to the sideline, wide open for a nice gain, not a touchdown, but another big play. And at that point, Mike Tomlin yelled, "Anybody want some of this?" It's really been interesting to see these young receivers going against the defensive backs. And I talked to Akella Witherspoon about that today, coming out of the locker room before lunchtime. And he said it's great work. You know, they're going to have to cover Jamar Chase pretty soon. And there are battles going on out there. Some days it's offense, some days it's defense. I think of late we've seen the type of ebb and flow that the coaches probably want to see. Offense had a tough time getting going early in training camp, but has been making its point of late.
All right, some good news in terms of the injury front. Benny Snell was back in pads today and participated in practice. Also, Kendrick Green, who left practice and came back yesterday, he was out there, so I think we can scratch him off our list of injured guys to keep an eye on. But also Alex Highsmith, Marcus Allen, and Derek Watt not participating. Again, they weren't in pads or doing anything, but we did see a Austin Calvin III sighting. He was out there, not in pads, but at least out with his teammates watching on the field.
Yeah, and he's a guy that lit it up right from the get-go out here. He and Pickens were both having their moments. Now, Austin has been out a while. He didn't play in the game last Saturday against the Seahawks. Who knows if he's going to be able to make it back in time for Jacksonville. But I think that's a guy that people really want to see. I know we were talking about him a lot when he was practicing out here, Missi. He was making himself visible and impactful.
In terms of what we will see in Jacksonville, we'll have to wait till Thursday to hear from head coach Mike Tomlin. But Triv, as we're sitting here today, what do you anticipate them doing in terms of who's playing and who's not?
You know, I'm not anticipating anything because it's been interesting. They're clearly following a plan. It's not an obvious plan, and I can't wait to see what they come up with next.
All right. Any final thoughts from practice today?
Yeah, just one. To kind of give people an idea of the attention to detail out here. They were doing special category. It was a second down drill. And they ran a play, and then a voice came bellowing from the sidelines, "Back it up 5 yards, gunner lined up in the neutral zone." So no officials here today, but they're making sure everybody's where they're supposed to be at the snap of the ball. No detail too small.
Hard to believe 2 more open practices for the Steelers here at St. Vincent. Second preseason game coming up on Saturday, and then they'll be back on the south side at the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex. That's going to do it for us here today on Training Camp Wrap Up. For Mike Prisuta and Missi Matthews, thanks for joining us. We'll see everybody back here tomorrow.